I hear music when I look at you. That's 4 bars of the song. The song is You. Beautiful song. And that's a classic chord progression that you don't hear very much in bluegrass, but you hear all the time in the American Songbook, standards. It's got a very particular harmonic move that's interesting to me. The first bar is a C major, or C major 7. The second bar is an E flat diminished. What in the what? Then it goes to a D minor 7, or D minor. And then a G7. Coming from bluegrass land, where those kind of chords don't always occur, particularly the E flat diminished chord, I don't know what to do on that. So we're going to try and problem solve and figure it out. If I just keep playing a C major chord over the E flat diminished chord coming out of the C major 7, it doesn't seem to work. I can't really make satisfying melodies by just picking from the 7 notes of the C major scale. So we got to figure out another group of notes that maybe we could pick from to create our own melodies. Well, let's use a tool that we could think of as a variation on one of my previous quick tips on what scale to play on a chord. What if we just change whatever notes we need to in the C major scale to accommodate the chord tones of this E flat diminished? So the E in the C major scale, for starters, has to become an E flat. The G has to become a G flat. The A from the C major scale is our flat 5th of the E flat diminished chord, and the C from the C major scale is our double flat 7, or our 6th of our E flat diminished chord. So now let's test this out. We've changed 2 notes of the C major scale to accommodate the chord tones of the E flat diminished. So now we've got a new scale. Wow, so we went from 2. So let's test it out. I'm just going to play the chords and then overlay the 7 notes from C major against the C major chord, rippling really fast. And then the 7 notes from this new scale, modified to fit the E flat diminished chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. Hey, that works. That sounds pretty cool. So just by doing that now, we in principle have kind of a 7-note scale that we can pick and choose from. But let's take this one step further. I've heard through the grapevine of this scale called the Whole Half Octatonic scale. You start on a note, and then you iterate a series of whole and then half steps. So for example, you'd start on C, go up a whole step, D, a half step, E flat, go up a whole step, F, go up a half step, G flat, go up a whole step, A flat, half step, A, whole step, B, and a half step back to C. Now this is interesting. That's an 8-note scale, octatonic, as opposed to heptatonic, the 7-note scales we talk about a lot on this channel. And that scale that we derived by modifying the C major scale notes to accommodate an E flat diminished chord, 7 of those 8 notes in that octatonic scale appear. So what if we make another experiment? What if we add that 1 note that's missing from our 7-note heptatonic diminished chord and see if it still fits aurally, if it's still pleasing to our ears? Because maybe with this nice octatonic structure, we'll have a new field to explore that other artists have also explored. So maybe we can grab some ideas. Let's test it out. We're going to overlay rapid fire C major notes, and then we're going to overlay rapid fire C whole half diminished notes. 2, 3, 4. Amazing. I think it totally works. Now because we see this chord as an E flat diminished, I want to think of my scale as my set of notes as being E flat centric. One of the nice properties of this whole half diminished scale is that it's symmetrical. So actually, a C whole half is the same as an E flat whole half. Amazing. So now we've derived, in a very utilitarian way, a very interesting new musical structure that I want to start exploring. The whole half octatonic scale, sometimes called the whole half diminished scale. In my next Patreon workshop, which I hope you'll join me, I'm going to talk about the first step I take in putting a scale onto the guitar neck. So I've found a set of notes that I like, but now I have to learn how to see it all across the guitar neck. That's what we're going to talk about in the workshop, but you have to be a patron on my Patreon page in order to access the recording or actually participate in the workshop. So if you're interested in supporting the making of these lesson videos and want to partake in a once-a-month workshop, please become a patron on my Patreon page. If you'd like to take private lessons, feel free to send me an email. I've got a couple slots left. And stay tuned for more quick tips. We're going to dive deep on the uses of this new scale and the harmonic uses of a diminished chord.